Hi, I'm Valerie Lovelace with Cedar Publishing and Media, and today I'm going to walk you through how to begin publishing your own book using our publishing service. You'll want to start here with the form. Please enter all of your contact info. This is the contact info that you would use for billing, not necessarily for what would be on your book, but what we would want to know to contact you. I've put in some dummy information so that I can continue on. Section number 2 is about choosing your publishing services. This is definitely the most important part to get an accurate price quote on what services you have chosen. So first, let's start with a traditional book. That's just a print book. You'll notice that when I chose print book, some more options came up underneath. A line edit is done by a professional editor who reads the entire manuscript and edits flow, grammar, punctuation, and spelling only. If you need to know more information about what a line edit is, you can click on each question and it will open a frequently asked question box. Here you can see our frequently asked questions. We're going to choose yes because a majority of books need a line edit done. Most authors are not capable of doing their own line edits because they do not see the errors in their own books. Do you need a substantive edit? Well, a substantive edit is an edit that is going to take a look at plot holes and overall story flow with your book. They'll also check and make sure that any facts you have in your book are actually factual. So we're going to choose yes for that as well. Do you need interior design and typeset? Well, interior design and typeset is what the inside of the book will look like. If you're going to do a print book, unless you are an expert at this doing it yourself, I would choose yes. Do you need a cover design? Well, unless you're a professional cover editor, or you know of one, or you've already had one done, I would choose yes. Every book genre has different standards for the covers, so it's important that you understand what these standards are if you want your book to sell well. The only time I wouldn't choose a cover design is if this is a legacy book or a book that you're printing only for your family and friends you don't intend to sell. Do you need an illustrator? Well, some books need an illustrator for chapter headings or for other things. If you would like your cover design illustrated, then please choose that you need an illustrator here as well as cover design. Now, if this is a children's book or a graphic novel or some other type of book that requires illustrations throughout, then please choose yes. I'm going to write this book as a novel, so I'm going to choose no. Do you need a distribution agent? Now, Cedar Fort has this amazing program. We offer the same services that we give to our traditionally published authors to those of you who would like to self-publish a book. And what this means is that we will look over your book and tell you what it needs in order to be marketable to retail. The agent will take a look at what you've submitted, your manuscript, your illustrations, your cover, all of that, and let you know if this meets industry standards to be sellable in retail. And by retail, I don't mean Amazon. I mean stores, bookstores. Anyone can publish a book on Amazon KDP, but if you look at the books on Amazon KDP, you'll notice that a lot of them are poor quality, books that you wouldn't pay more than $1.99 for or $3.99. What we're trying to do is get your books to a professional retail level. So you will pay the fee, which is $125 for the distribution agent to look over your book and to give you direction and to help you get your book ready for market. Yes, you may have to pay for additional services, but if your intent is to sell this book in bookstores, then it's absolutely worth the $125 to pay the distribution agent. Further, once you're done with your publishing process, the distribution agent will help pitch your book to all of the retail stores that we are partnered with. That includes Siegel, Deseret Book, Barnes & Noble, and any bookstore that buys through Ingram. So do we need a distribution agent? We're going to choose yes, because I want this book to get into bookstores, and so I'm going to need that help. Do you need a website? I already have a website, so I'm going to choose no. Do you need an ISBN? If you only intend to sell your book on Amazon KDP, you do not need an ISBN. However, if you intend to sell your book anywhere else, then you will need an ISBN. So please choose yes if that is the case. Now I get an opportunity to tell you all about my book. Now I'm going to put in some dummy information. Now here in author name, this is the name that will be printed on your cover, on your inside cover, on your title information page. So it's important to put what you want your pen name to be. You don't have to choose a pen name. You can use whatever regular name you use in everyday life. But however, if you do want to use a pen name, this is where it needs to be entered. When it comes to printed size, we try to choose the printed sizes that made the most sense financially for an author, because different sizes are going to cost a different amount in the final printing cost of the book. 6x9 is a typical size for the regular book that you see in the bookstores. And this includes fiction and nonfiction. You can have it portrait or landscape. However, most novels and memoirs and those sorts of things, biographies, do not come in a landscape size. If you click here on the frequently asked questions link, you can see the difference between what a landscape and a portrait size is. Portrait is tall and skinny, and landscape is short and wide. So you can see why it may not be a benefit of you to choose a 6x9 landscape if you're going to be doing a novel or a biography or some type of book like that. We also have a 7x9. These are usually used for journals, but most often these are used for cookbooks. Then we also have a 8.5 by 11.5 portrait. These are most often for children's books. Now here you need to put in the word count. The word count is very important. If you do not know how to find your book's word count, then you need to go to the frequently asked questions and look up how to find word count depending on what program you have. You can see it here. Once you know what your word count is, please put it in here as accurately as possible, because this is going to determine all of your costs, especially editing costs, illustration costs, etc. Now for the interior, since this is just a regular novel that I'm creating here, I'm going to choose not full color, but black and white. Now suppose I wanted to add a picture that is full color in my book, which that is a thing that people do, then you need to choose full color, because only one full color page in a book makes the whole book considered full color. Now with the cover options, we only have a few. The cover options are hardback with a spiral, or paperback with a spiral. I'm going to choose paperback. Generally with a novel, choosing hardback is going to price me out of the market, where the finished printing cost of the book will make the retail cost unaffordable for the average person to buy. Cover genre. Now the reason this is important is because, first of all, it's asking me this question because I asked for a cover design. Now, like I said before, every genre has cover standards, and that's what we would like to know here. So I'm going to say that my book called book is the sci-fi genre, so that they understand what style that this cover needs to be designed in. Here you can enter the premise of your book, and this is just for us to know what we can expect from your book and what categories we want to put it in. It helps the distribution agent. We use it mostly internally. The author bio is all about you. You can find more information on an author bio if you click here. Back cover text, this is important. The back cover text needs to sell your book. Most people will pick up a book and immediately look at the back cover text after looking at the cover. So cover is most important. Back text is probably the second most important thing when it comes to marketing and making your book sellable. You can click here on the frequently asked questions, and we walk you through some advice on how to do a back cover text. You can also just Google it and to figure out what you need. Also, another option is that you can include the back cover text with the word count of your manuscript and upload it down here. And that way, and then if you pay for an editor to go through your whole story, then you can also pay them to go over the back cover text with you and get it polished up really nicely. This is your spot to add any additional notes. Is there a special treatment you would like for your cover? Is there a special non-standard size that you're interested in? Anything that you want us to know that's not listed on the list in the form above, please put it here. Then you can upload your files here. It's very simple to upload your files. You just choose Browse File and then find your files within your computer. Now, let me finish filling this out and then I will show you how to generate a quote. Now I'm ready to hit Generate Quote. Now you can see all of the services that you chose and what the rates are. And you can see that the pricing is based off of the 99,000 words that I entered in up above. If you feel like your book is too expensive, then you can adjust the word count. You can edit your book and take out some of the words, and that should help bring the price down. Now that I have finished putting in all the information for my book, I'm going to check out. But before I do that, and you scroll down past the Order Now button, you can see an example of what your book will look like and what the printing cost would be, and then also what the suggested retail of this book would be. So I chose a 6x9 and I chose 99,000 words. My printing cost, it will cost me approximately $1.50 per book. That's the wholesale cost. And then the suggested retail cost is $6.99 to $7.99. And you can adjust this to whatever you want. But this helps give you an idea of how much you can sell your book for and actually make some money off of your book. Now I'm going to choose Order Now. And this is going to take me to a checkout page. You can double check your prices here. If you have a promo code, you can enter it over here on the right. Now I'm going to take you to what happens next. First, I'm going to get an email giving me access to a Google Drive. You probably will want to have a Gmail account in order for this to work properly, but it's not always necessary. When you open up the drive, everything that you uploaded will be in the drive. This is a shared drive with your editor, your cover designer, or anybody else that you hired. You all have access to this drive. Here you can see my manuscript for the book. When I open the manuscript, I will be able to see what edits my editor is doing. I will also be able to message my editor. So if I were to highlight this here, I can click on this bubble up in the top right hand corner and I can add a comment. You can see where others have left comments. You can leave comments for your editor can leave comments for you as well. You'll also be able to see what edits your editor has done. Now going back out to the drive, you can also do this for the artwork. Here's an example picture of a cover for this little book called Bobby Goes to Space. And you can see what we've done here is we've highlighted certain areas by clicking and dragging. And you can leave a comment on the picture there. Your cover designer or your illustrator will be able to review those comments and make changes accordingly. If you need to communicate further with any of these people, you can go into the manuscript, choose the person you want to communicate with by hovering over their name and then clicking on their email. This will open an email box, and you can send them a message through email as well. If you need to add any files, you need to put them in your Drive file. You can do that very simply by going over here to this left top hand corner and clicking on New and clicking File Upload. You can also upload an entire folder if necessary. You can also add folders to this Drive file so that you can further organize the information within it. So if you forgot anything during the process of filling out the form and uploading your initial materials, you now easily know how to go back and add it in the right place. Well, that's it for me. I hope I helped you understand how easy it is to publish your own book through Cedar Fort Publishing and Media.